Alright, so I guess I'll just get right into it here. I didn't really plan out this video much other than what I say first, and then I'm just gonna kind of freeball it from there. But the two types of music fans that I probably dislike the most, first are the people who dislike a band without having heard much, if any, of that band, and they kind of just have this attitude like they know what they're talking about and they know everything about that band. They don't like them when in reality they have never heard a song in its entirety. And the people who say they like a band when they don't know what they're talking about and like that, the people. I mean, there isn't a lot of people who say they like a band and they haven't, heard any songs. I mean, you could say like, oh, well, I've heard one song and I like that song, but I don't think you can say that you like a band, when you've only heard one song. I like what I've heard, but so those are the two kinds of people that just kind of, my people pet peeves, in music, and one band that I like, that I think there are lots of people from both sides, involved in the fan or not fan base, is Fall Out Boy. And I kind of wanted to just, talk about that. It's something I like talking about. You have all of the people who just assume that they're another, really gay pop punk band, in their opinion, when they haven't heard any, or when they haven't heard much, if any. And then something I've really noticed, you have all the people who say like they're the biggest, Fall Out Boy fans ever, and they don't really even have, a lot of the ones I know, they don't really even listen to the music really at all. And like, what I mean by that is, the Fall Out Boy's lyrics especially are like, well, first off, they're really, really good, and they use a lot of figurative language, like, metaphors and stuff, like extended metaphors and just kind of vague, um, you know, just kind of a vague, style of songwriting. Not super, super vague or anything, but just kind of like, ambiguous. Um, and there's a lot of their fans that are like really, really young and don't really understand what they're talking about. And I don't like that when you say you love this band and you have no idea that sometimes they make fun of their fans. I not only do I think they're good, I just think that they're really fun to kind of like analyze and talk about. Like the one line of the end of Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying. They say that, we never knew that you would pick it apart. Oh, I'm falling apart, to songs about hips and hearts. Hips and hearts being just two words taken out of their other lyrics. We never knew that you would pick it apart, like exactly what I'm doing right now. And then like they're like, making fun of like a typical Fall Out Boy fan, like, oh, I'm falling apart, to songs about hips and hearts. So they're kind of poking a little fun at themselves too, and I just think that's really, cool, really, I don't a little modest too, just kind of cool the way they do that. Also, one other thing I really want to mention is all the people who just assume that they're part of this scene, you know, um, and like just like like a Simple Plan, or other bands like that, and they don't really give them a listen. Fall Out Boy has said multiple times in their lyrics, at least I mean, I can't say 100% sure, for 100% sure, because I don't really know, I haven't talked to them, but just what I think is very likely to be correct, my interpretation, I think, is very likely to be correct. That's what I'm saying for all of these lyrics, but like, one of the most blatant examples of them kind of denying their part in this, scene, is the song "This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race," which is kind of ironic because that's their single, or that's one of their singles, or a song that you're pretty likely to hear, a Fall Out Boy song you're pretty likely to hear. But like, yeah, like the first verse, I am an arms dealer fitting you with weapons in the form of words, and don't really care which side wins as long as the room keeps singing. That's just the business I'm in. You know, it's pretty easy to see what he's saying there. But like in the song Thriller too, um, you know, he says, "Make us poster boys for your scene, but we are not making an acceptance speech." You know, and those are just two examples too of like they're just saying that you know we're our own band, you know, and we're not part of, you know, we're not just like another, you know, band that just comes along and makes a few albums and just kind of goes away. And, you know, also more proof of that is their latest album, Folie à Deux, is like really different from their other stuff. They actually do progress musically and they don't just make the same shit over and over again, you know, which I think is like cool and also a good example of how they're not just another, you know, pop punky band, you know. Um yeah, so you know, I just think that you should if you say you really like Fall Out Boy, you should pay more attention in English class, especially during the poetry unit. So you can like cuz it's yeah, their lyrics are like really good and you know, people who say that they suck because, you know, even though they've never listened to them before, I think you should give them a listen. But not just Fall Out Boy, any band. You know, if you think that they suck, you know, just when you haven't listened to them, listen to them, because that's not fair. That's stupid if you do that. Um, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a video about, you know, that, just in defense of this particular band. Maybe I could do this for more bands, like, you know, the people on each side, like the people who say they like them and the people who say they don't like them. You know, I just kind of wanted to point that out, though, that Fall Out Boy themselves, a lot of the time, say that they're not part of the scene that you think they're a part of. What's one more example I can think of off the top of my head? Um, wait. Not off the top of my head. I'd have to, you know, look at the lyrics to jog my memory. But yeah, so if you found that interesting, I guess let me know. Thanks for watching.